Lazarus here. He's been dead 4 days. And they went to Jesus earlier and they begged Jesus. They said, we need you to come and heal this man. He's dying and only you can do anything about it. You can save his life and only you can do something about it. And Jesus did not show up on the scene. So 4 days later, he's dead and he's been in the grave for 4 days. Jesus arrives on the scene and he said, where have you laid him? And you see Martha here. She said, wait a minute. Why do you want to know where he's at? He's been in the grave for 4 days. He stinks and, what are you doing here? And Jesus said, did I not tell you that if you believed in me, that you would see the glory of God? Or that if you believed in the Father? And what you saw right here was Jesus saying with a clear, loud voice, saying, Lazarus, come forth. And what's amazing to me is that I spent my life as a child listening to men of God get up behind the pulpit preaching on this same message and talking about the story of Lazarus, but they never talked about why he said, Lazarus, come forth. Because let me tell you how big my God is, Ronnie. My God's big enough that if he would have just said, come forth, that whole grave site would have emptied out. But he had to do just one, and he said, Lazarus, come forth. And that's why he mentioned the name Lazarus. Because if he would have went and just said, come forth, the whole grave site would have been empty, and they would have known what to do. But see, even after this miracle, they had to get together, and they said, listen, we don't know what to do with it. See, there was already planning on how to kill him at this point, and that's why Jesus had to do this. Jesus had to prove to them that he was the Son of God. And that's why he was 4 days late. And Karen Peck in New River sings a song that says, even when he's 4 days late, he's still on time. I thank God this morning that I serve a God that even when he's late, he's still on time. He might not be where I need. He might not show up when I want him to, but he always shows up when I need him to. Amen? And that's why I'm glad I serve a God this morning. He ain't dead. He ain't small. He's a big God this morning.
Amen.
And you know the story of Lazarus. Nobody ever talks about why he said, Lazarus, come forth. That's because if he would have said, come forth, that whole graveyard would have emptied out. That's why. Because that's how big of a God we serve, Lonnie. But he only said, Lazarus, come forth. But if you notice right here, in verse 41, Father, I thank you that you have heard me. And I know that you always hear me, but because of the people who are standing by, I said this, that they may believe that you sent me. Now I want you to notice right here what Jesus just did. Jesus started off his prayer by thanking God. How many of us do that? Not a lot. We go to God every day and we ask him, God, I need this, God, I need this, God, I need this. But we never thank him for what he's already done. Jesus, even the Son of God, started off the prayer with, God, I thank you for